Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can. You got to, you have to designate which party you want.
Right. Yeah, you can't. If you're an independent, you can vote either in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary. So you can't vote in both.
Well, I understand that. Why don't we can just, well, I want, why only Democrat and Republican? How about the independent?
The independents will still go on the ballot. So what the primaries are for is only one or the other. Either one Democrat or one Republican can get on the ballot. So that's a primary for them to fight against each other. So you can have 100 independents.
Right. Yeah, you can have 100 independents, but you can only have one Republican and one Democrat or one Libertarian.
So the primary is to vote out.
Green.
Yeah, is to see which is the best.
Right now, there's 7 Republicans running. So they're going to have their primary in August, and at the end of the primary, there's going to be one left. And then the independent and the Republican and then the Democrat will go at it for the general election.
Do you monitor what the Republican websites just for information or to see what the other side is currently thinking as far as issues concerning Mohave County?
Most of them are with planning and zoning, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
And I don't live here, okay? But I know a little bit.
No, I don't peruse the local GOP websites. Mostly what I do is monitor the Kingdom Daily Miner, the Mohave Daily News, Arizona Independent, and the Arizona Republican, actually the Las Vegas Review-Journal, for as much news as possible.
Well, there is a site that it's open, which is, it's got a couple of Democrats and an independent like myself in there, and it's dominated by the Republicans. I think they're kind of insightful. Their logic is. Well, that's just my opinion anyway. So what I would like to know is, how do you feel about the general plan? I heard you talking about it earlier. What exactly is it about the general plan that disturbs you?
Well, I don't really have a problem with the general plan as it is, except that the supervisors on regular occasion decide to differ from it when the county went through a lot of trouble to come up with it.
Oh, you mean the citizens' participation?
Right. These citizens participated to make that general plan, and then the county supervisors on a regular basis decide to do what they want to do instead of following the plan.
So when you take office, you planning on changing some of the wording in the general plan to include the people to participate?
People should participate in everything. That's the entire point of our system of government, is that the people participate in their government. Otherwise, you have an autocracy or a theocracy or a nepotist government. The people have to participate.
Okay. Now that the U.S. And on another subject here, now that the U.S. Geological came out with its second assessment of the water and aquifers out here, do you think that the general plan has to be reviewed and revised to include that report?
Yes, because we live in a desert. Water is a precious resource where we live, and one thing I would like to see is more businesses use waterless appliances or water conserving appliances. Now, there's lots of federal laws already that apply to that, but there are areas where the county could, I hate to say mandate, but encourage businesses to conserve water better.
Well, now that we're talking about businesses, can you? How do you view on? What's your idea of bringing businesses into town? I mean, do you see it as like Jan Brewer going abroad to bring in jobs here, or do you feel like promoting more American businesses and manufacturing here would be the key to our economy, both locally and nationally?
I think promoting more American businesses to locate manufacturing here is the best way to go, because the American people are the most ingenious and capable workforce in the world. We're the most productive, and when we put our minds to it, we can accomplish anything. I'd like to see companies like Intel possibly come in and locate a manufacturing plant for computer chips. Possibly, companies like Boeing. I'd love to see them put in a factory out at the airport to build airplanes, or even whole airplanes. And in my flyer there, I've put down a way that I would like to encourage companies like that to come in and build manufacturing facilities and give them a large, not subsidized, because I don't believe in taxpayer subsidies for any company, but it is an incentive that allows them to keep their own money for longer if they come and they bring in jobs in manufacturing facilities here.
Okay, now that we're talking about jobs and things like that, the renewable energy sector, we're trying to get solar plants and things like that up and running here. Which type of technology do you see coming into Mohave County? Do you see, what's your view on that, your take?
Well, it seems like every time I go outside it's pretty windy, so I'm all for wind turbines here in our part of the county anyways, and our part of the state. We've got plenty of sun, solar power is great. We don't have much geothermal here. We've already got the Parker Dam and the Hoover Dam generating hydroelectricity, so there's not much more we could do with that. But I don't believe the government should subsidize alternative energy, at least not to the point where companies benefit more than the people do.
So are you in favor of privatizing the commons, like water resources, natural resources, or are you saying that corporations would do a better job than most governments? I mean, I'm not too sure how when you say subsidize energy projects, are you saying privatizing the energy sector?
I'm saying that I don't think that taxpayers and the people's money should be used to put out these projects that don't have a return that is as good for the people as the investment is. If the investment is going to be really great for the people, then there is a possibility that it could be subsidized. Now, I don't mind offering incentives where companies get to keep more money of their own, but I'm 99.9% against giving the people's money to a company for something.
All right. On the subject of education in Mohave County, there have been a lot of, I wouldn't say complaints about it, but we have schools here that are unoccupied because of finance. How do you propose to handle that? These schools are just made, there's $1 million in it, and they're just sitting there empty. How do you suggest that? How do you look at that?
Well, on a personal note, when I found out that they weren't going to open that high school after I voted for that bond because I was told it was going to build a high school and make the crowding less, I was quite frankly extremely annoyed. There's not much a county supervisor can do because that is governed by the school board, and the people have to elect members to the school district that will take care of that, do what the people want. But I would like to see the school district manage its resources much better.
Okay, on the subject now that for some reason, because I thought of the school, Occupy Wall Street's down there. How do you feel about them?
I believe that they have just as much right as anybody to go out there and talk about what they want to talk about. I think that most of the companies in Wall Street have gotten a better deal than most of the people. I never got a bailout. I don't think any company should get a bailout, quite frankly. But at the same time, I think they should also occupy Washington because the politicians are allowing things like this to happen.
The House President Fred Mark, what's his name, is asking for another bailout. What do you think about that?
No, I'm not for bailouts in any way, shape, or form. If a company cannot perform in the free market, then it needs to go file for bankruptcy.
You know, they had the first bailout and you're asking again. That's what I mean. If you're for it or not.
No, I'm not for it.
Are you for corporate personhood?
Excuse me?
Are you for corporate personhood? You corporation?
Only if the members of the board can go to jail for just as long as anybody else can.
So that would be no.
Exactly.
All right.
If the chairman and CEO can be sentenced to jail for 50 or 100 years, same as a person can, then I would be for it. But since they won't be able to, then no.
Okay, my other question, the Board of Supervisors, they put out this dress code and call to the public. They forbid that?
As far as the call to the public goes, I would actually like to expand that to where at the beginning of a supervisor's meeting, anybody who wants to raise their hand and have something to say can stand up and say it. And then during any discussions during the supervisor's meeting, any person can raise their hand, and after whoever's done speaking speaks, the chairman of the board will recognize the person who has their hand up, let them say their say, and then continue on with the meeting.
So you're going to get away with a sign up for to speak?
You shouldn't have to sign up to speak. That's not what a democracy is about.
There's so many times I want to...
If I want to, if it was me, I'd want to be able to stand up there and yell at the supervisor if I wanted to.
Well,
Maybe not yell, but I think you get my drift. I should be able to say what I want to say to the supervisors as long as it's non-threatening to them.
Well, there's a couple of people that they banned not to come in on any kind of meeting.
Nobody should be banned from a meeting of their elected representatives. I know, but nobody should be banned from a meeting of their elected representatives.
We have to clarify that. They were not banned, they were removed. They're not banned. All you had to do... They can come back to the next meeting. Banned and you can't come back ever.
That's what it is.
No.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do, and they're not banned forever. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, thank you.